Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's get started then, shall we? Again, still on holiday at the moment in sunny Scotland. Absolutely not. Hey, you've got to love Scotland. Yeah, I used to live here back in the olden days. Well, it's not that long ago really. I moved away from here about 5 years ago. Do really like the place. I forget how grey it is, especially the further north you go. People always say the further north you go in Scotland, everything goes to black and white, and it kind of does. Right, so let's get started then, shall we? Right, so Bitcoin pulling back exactly as expected from the $36,000 zone. There is a good chance, to be fair, that we do see a bounce around this 10 exponential moving average. You forget how bullish Bitcoin is. It is pretty bullish. 34,080 at the moment is where the 10 exponential lives. We might even find a reaction around there. Let's face it, at the moment, Bitcoin crypto is all looking quite bullish. As far as the chart is concerned, definitely 4 hourly, 12 hourly, daily, and as we saw yesterday, the weekly, all very bullish setups. So yeah, don't be surprised if we see a bounce from here. That the bounce takes us up to the 38,000 and maybe a little bit further beyond that. Don't be surprised at that. But personally, just because of the high risk to reward of taking new positions, especially futures positions in altcoins particularly, it's not a problem to sit back and wait a little bit longer just in case this area fails and we do break down towards the like I say, the Holy Grail, or between 32 and 33,000. So we've got the 32,000, or just short of that, which is the horizontal area of significance. The previous resistance should hopefully see a decent support. It's now backed up by a 20 moving average and 21 exponential moving average, and both of those basically being decent support and a great place to try an entry position for Bitcoin. And then you can obviously think about what that might do for altcoins. Altcoins trade through association with Bitcoin's strength or weakness, so recognize that for what it is. Let's have a look at some of these altcoins first of all. So again, in standard XRP fashion, it's actually holding quite well. We did another move back up into the 62-cent zone, which is fine, and a rejection from there. And the same deal would apply to XRP. I love trading XRP. XRP is my favorite, one of my favorite charts to trade of all currencies, of all anything. Right, so it's absolutely one of my favorites. It doesn't mean that I think it's going to go to $539 or what everyone says it is. It's just a very good chart to trade. And at the moment, the structure of this chart is awesome. So we've pushed the resistance. We had a few wicks above it, but more or less coming back down to earth from it. The 10 exponential again, from back over here and here and here and so on, being the main area of support. So if we do pull back on Bitcoin and crypto, we'll be looking for XRP to hit roughly around the 57.7 cent zone at this very moment in time. Recognize the bullish situation. This is what I call a rainbow spread. All moving averages more or less in the right place. It's 200, 250, 20, 21, 10, 7. They're all in the right place with a pump signal as well that's been generated more or less at the resistance zone. So this makes me feel pretty confident, to be fair, that we will see XRP move deeper into this major area of resistance, this huge resistance box. This basically moves all the way up to 90 cents, basically. And in classic standard XRP fashion, I'll be looking for XRP to make a new local high, just as it normally does when it performs these bullish modes, right? So this is, you could call it its market cycle if you want. Whether that's the right term, or should we just call it the XRP model? I made a video a few days back just showing and explaining that this time is slightly different to the previous cycles. Again, I use the word cycle loosely for XRP, but it's true. I mean, it's been around for 10 years now. And it has this big bold move up, 3 years down, another big bold move up, more or less 3 years down. And then the last bull market, 2019 and beyond, was pretty crooked. It was still consolidating during the bull market beginnings. Then it had its own sort of big moves up as it broke out of that, and then the SEC messed it up and stopped it from creating a new all-time high. Even if it were to create a new all-time high, I wasn't really expecting it to do anything massive anyway. Targeting basically like $4 to a maximum, which just sounds crazy, of around about $27. This is all based on what we saw in the previous cycle by by mixing loads of different ways to calculate what an all-time high would be. So obviously there's a very big gap there between $4 and $27. So, but it's for those who want to feel the hopium they can target the $27 if you want to. You know me, I'm a conservative trader, always looking at the lower numbers. But the SEC didn't even allow that for us. Now, obviously, it's different this time because the SEC has given up, haven't they? Really, they've failed. So XRP actually can now, at this stage, now go into its previous anticipated cycle of bullish momentum that goes, parabolic and then pops and then consolidates for 3 years. In the next few years, it'll start that where it hits again between $4 and $27. Yeah, that's right. There's some clickbait for you. I'm not going to go into the details of why it would possibly even hit $27, but I'll put it out there now. I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see it reach 10 or more at the end of its bullish phase. But that does not mean that I expect that. It means that if it were to happen, I wouldn't be surprised. But I always think it's a bit of a fool's game to try and speculate as to where altcoins are going to reach at the peak of a parabolic run. There's so many reasons that altcoins or anything really hits a particular high. Most of it is to do with volume and the sentiment at the time. And as we all know, when sentiment is high, your next door neighbor and their grandmother is buying crypto, which is obviously the time for you and I to get out of crypto. That's usually the way. Right now, you speak to somebody about crypto, they don't want anything to do with it. And fair play, it's not for everybody. You've got to learn these things. You've got to understand the counterintuitive nature of how to trade in the first place, or what it is that you're even doing and buying. Most people don't, and that's fine. They've probably got a lot more skills that I don't possess, that are probably way more useful in day-to-day life. So let's not to speak ill of the people who get wrecked, but normally for the most part, a new all-time high is determined by the madness that ensues when investing is happening by people who don't know what they're doing. Unfortunately, that's just that is the cyclical nature of most markets, and especially crypto. Right. So that's enough to do with XRP. But again, I'll be looking for a pullback to 58 cents. If it pulls back any lower than that, we can still maintain a very bullish scenario around 52 for XRP, and all of these areas would be areas where I'd be quite comfortable in trying to take positions in with tight stop losses in anticipation for the next big move up. Not looking to take a position now, obviously. I've closed my long on this one, bagged a load more XRP as a result of that. Because obviously I do coin futures for the most part, and that basically allows me to just generate more and more and more and more XRP. Now, the two random altcoins that I'm going to present to you now are high risk, high returns if the market does turn back up again. I've shown this one a few times. I still stick with it, with what I'm looking at here, which is a huge consolidation that hit a golden cross retest, 200 simple and exponential on a daily, and is now looking to basically move out and break out and continue up towards, we'll call it 9 towards 10 cents maybe, which is a good decent move that there, really. 70, 80, 90, maybe even more percent if this setup works. Looking at the consolidation on its own, it could end up retesting these lower zones, absolutely. And I have not entered into this because I'm waiting to see if Bitcoin can pull down to those levels at $33,000, $32,000 zone and hold. Because all of this altcoin scenarios, every single altcoin scenario really, is based around whether Bitcoin can hold that major support. Because if it can't, we will then go back down into wrecked city, where we will live there probably for the rest of the year, until we get another opportunity to see some sort of quick, fast gains like we've had over the last 4 weeks now. It's been a while. It feels like it's been going on for a while, but really it's just a drop in the ocean. We've been sitting around waiting for these sort of moves on altcoins for a while, and as much as we want to extend those gains immediately, we might not be able to. So it's best to just chill out, just allow the charts to let us know if it's real or not. I think it is, but it's still not enough for me to enter into new positions at this moment in time. So XDC on the daily tells us all we need to know really. That if we do pull back, I'd love to try and take a position around 4.8, 4.9 cents, and I would definitely try my luck at 4.5 to 4.6, basically a retest of those levels. Now another wild card. In fact, there's another one I'll show you after this. Another wild card is RLC. Unlike the previous chart, this one hasn't yet broken out. It looks a lot like other altcoin charts, really, pushing the death cross retest. So the opposite of what we've seen with XDC. XDC has broken out, consolidated, and still maintained a bullish scenario. This one is not broken out yet. This is actually testing a death cross, so we could be looking at a decent rejection on this one before we bounce back up. Positions around 1073 would be great. Bollinger Band Center. We've got a pump signal on this one on the daily, so it can and should pump if the market allows for it to pump. This one looks pretty sweet, and the returns on this one would be pretty dramatic if it does work. Obviously, you'd want to be taking profit on the way up. First major zones are obviously going to be back up at the resistances that we've been rejected from, maybe the 200 simple, which is around 125, and then horizontal areas after that around 142, and then top targets probably between 158 and 160. That's decent, and if it were to do that, it would do it quite quickly. So that's RLC. Now the last one I was going to show you here is different. In fact, I'll show you two actually. There's two things I'm going to show you before my kids completely lose their Shiite. Right. This one has just come to mind. Crow. I know what it sounds like. It sounds crazy, but Crow. I'm obviously a relatively decent believer in the overall outcome of Crow. They, as far as I can see, toe the line with regulations and stuff like that, and they are targeting I suppose the unskilled yet serious investors. They are a permanent addition to Bloomberg. If you ever watch that. Always advertising on Bloomberg throughout the bear market, consistently advertising through that. So, and they don't have this. Well, I suppose they do have an affiliate scheme, but they're relying on traditional advertising rather than people like me and all those other handsome YouTubers that will push any affiliate link on you without a thought of what's going to happen to you as an individual. Do this, go leverage on this, do this. Do this, do it, do it. Get yourself wrecked for my personal gain. As I think Crow has taken a different, Crypto.com has taken a different approach, which is, to be fair, admirable. Really, they could have gone down the degenerate route, and they haven't. Right. So all I'm really looking at this stage now is the giant, huge consolidation. And again, I'm using my terrible laptop here, so I just wanted to show you the MACD. It's basically been turning up since the epic crash back down in 2022. And since then, this is what I would call a consistent accumulation style on the MACD here. Obviously, it's a divergence play because the price has been going down and down and down and down and down, while the divergences have been going up and up and up and up and up. Same on the MACD, on the RSI and on the money flow index. So what this says is it's likely to start to break out on a weekly. And then start an uptrend on a weekly. So I don't know if anyone even wants to buy this. I mean, the volume on it is usually pretty low. It's a reward token, isn't it? Really, if anything, for for Crypto.com. Yeah, you have the Crow card like I do. You have to lock a certain amount of this away, and you get all these benefits and all this cash back, and a nice metal card, and the staking returns are decent, and blah blah blah. So it serves a purpose, like most exchange tokens do. For buying and holding it, if you are going to buy and hold it, you might as well get yourself a Crow card anyway. If you're going to buy a decent amount of it, and why not buy it down at these low levels? Because I bought it at higher than this. I bought mine around 14 cents. So obviously, I live in wrecked city on this one. But yeah, the accumulation on this one and the divergence on this one on the weekly suggests that when it does finally break out, it's likely to see huge gains back up to its previous high over the next few years. Certainly, I would imagine a big bold move up at some point next year, probably even making its way back up to 20 and 40 quite quickly. Whether it can sustain that is different and very much market dependent. But that's a good one. But the one I was going to show you as well is another coin that I hold long term for fundamental value, although it's never really been realized. and then I'll leave it with you there, because I appreciate this video is probably like almost, if not, the production quality of this is so bad that I'd be surprised if you made it this far. It's Ocean Protocol. That's right, baby. Ocean Protocol. We are looking at a weekly breakout on this one as well, so we'll stick to the weekly. So this is long-term stuff, really. Stick to the weekly. What we see, if we can just load it all up on my my little Lenovo crap top over here. We are working on this major breakout that's taken place. Price action at this stage now above all moving averages, which is good, with a view to make our way initially back up to 58. AI in the real world, as in traditional markets world, isn't really moving up at the moment, but I expect it to over the coming years. This altcoin actually feeds AI, properly feeds it. This isn't a branded AI token. This is what this token is supposed to be: data management into the mouth of artificial intelligence. So I actually do believe that if this is going to work out on a fundamental level, and this should be the cycle, this should be the market cycle for it. Within the next couple of years, we should see this one reach its true value. And if it doesn't, then effectively I'd say it's a failed project. But I don't think it is. I think it's actually going to be pretty good. But on a technical basis, we are breaking out here on the weekly. The fresh MACD cross as well, looking to confirm this hopefully by the end of the week. So a few more days before that, and this could go into a very bullish scenario on the weekly. Again, targeting up to 60 cents to begin with. But if you think about where we are in as far as price action on this chart is right now, we think about where we came from, which was on $2. It's not too bad actually if we can sustain prices above 50 and 60, and then make our way back up to $2. This one really could see a lot bigger price, way bigger, if it taps into the right place at the right time on a fundamental basis. But on a technical basis, looks like a weekly breakout. We target between 50 and 60 to begin with, and then straight up to $1, really. Again, yeah, it's like most altcoins, pretty illiquid at the moment. So, yeah, and even if you look at AI in traditional markets, there's something like C3 AI, volatile to the max. So we should expect the volatility to be the same. But we are waiting for AI to really reach its true value in the stock market as well as it will in crypto. So it's very early days. And if you're bullish in that sector, you ought to be bullish on this crypto. Right, that's enough then for now. Again, I appreciate the quality of this video is terrible. And for those who were going to tune into the live stream tonight, I can't do it tonight. I'm off for haggis, neeps, and tatties, and a glass of iron brew. But tomorrow I will be able to do it tomorrow. So the live stream will be on Saturday rather than tonight. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.